This week's episode is all about the business pieces of coaching. Whether you're a coach already or you're aspiring to be, or you're working in the wellness space, this week is for you. This will happen on the last episode of every month. And during this episode, we will get down and dirty with some amazing experts in the fields of business and coaching. And we will teach you all the pieces you need to build, grow, and scale a profitable practice. You won't want to miss a single show. Hi, I'm Coach Kela Smith. Welcome to the Hormone Puzzle Podcast. For those of you who don't know me, I would love to introduce myself again. So I am the CEO and Program Director of the Hormone Puzzle Society. And this is a company that I created, and it's a women's health hub for fertility, hormones, and the business of coaching. I'm also a holistic, integrative fertility and hormones expert and a mentor to future fertility experts. As a mentor, I guide for future fertility experts and coach other wellness practitioners on how to start their own fertility coaching businesses or how to add fertility coaching to an already existing wellness business. The last show of every month on our podcast is dedicated to you, the people who are either trying to start, build, grow, or scale a coaching practice focusing on fertility and hormones. So thank you so much for being here. And today I'm going to talk to you about something that is near and dear to my heart. And it's a question I get all the time from other people in this industry. And it is, how did you build your practice so fast? How are you always on a wait list? So I want to give you my 3 secrets to a waitlisted practice. And before we dive in today, I want to make sure that you got my free gift that I made for you. And it's my 3 secrets to a waitlisted practice digital download. And you can get that by visiting my website. We'll put notes in the show notes about how you can get this, but definitely dive into that and take some notes. These 3 tips that I'm going to share with you today are going to dramatically change your businesses, and they're going to seem so simple once I tell you what they are. But I think we all need a reminder on doing these things on a regular basis so that we can have clients coming in, that we can serve this amazing community. We can build practices that we love, doing the work that we love and helping so many. And it's not too late to redesign your strategies and have a packed out practice with a wait list. So if you're somebody who's already established, you already have a wellness practice, maybe you're a chiropractor or an acupuncturist or a doula or another health coach, or no matter what your specialty, no matter what your practice is, whether you are starting or redesigning, it's never too late to have a packed out practice. And everything I'm going to teach you today is 100% doable. And I know that marketing your practice can be very overwhelming. I was there. My first year running my business, I was doing all the things. I felt like I was on a hamster wheel and I was getting no traction. I had very few clients. I was spending thousands of dollars on marketing. I was trying to do 101 different things and none of it was working. And I was frustrated. I knew I had this dream and this vision of what I wanted my practice to be, but I couldn't figure out how to get there. And I was about ready to give up, honestly. I was so frustrated, and I couldn't understand why everything that I had learned and all the gurus that I had followed, everything they had taught me, it wasn't working. And so that's why I have put together this guidebook and why I'm doing this podcast episode, because I want you to know that it is doable. You can have a packed out practice with a wait list, working with clients that you love, making a difference in their lives, and you can do it all organically and from the comfort of your own home. So before we dive into this, I just want to talk to you about how you can get the most out of this podcast episode and out of this workbook. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you have the workbook. I want you to print it and I want you to save it on your computer. It has a place for you to write notes so you can take notes about what I'm talking about today and you can implement all of these things very quickly. The next thing is I want you to think of one question that you would like me to answer around your business. And I want you to send me a direct message on Instagram with that question. And let's just have a chat. My Instagram is Kela_health coach. And I would love to talk to you about where you're struggling in business and what questions that you might have. And then to maximize your time between the time you read this guidebook and the time you listen to this podcast, I want you to take one action that you learned today and I want you to implement it right away. The key to seeing big results is implementation and to get that momentum going. And so then it starts to snowball. So pick one thing that you learned today from listening to me and implement it within the next 24 hours. So my first strategy is niche marketing. Nothing is going to help you market your practice more than when you are speaking to the right niche. You are talking to the right audience. You are visible with that audience. And that audience wants what you are offering. They have a pain point and they want your desired outcome. You're a guide for this person. You are going to guide them to their end result. And so you're not a salesperson, you're not sleazy or pushy, or you're not trying to strong arm anybody. You're simply realizing that they have this problem and you're going to show them how you can guide them to their solution. And when you can show somebody that, it's a no-brainer. They want to work with you. They're so excited to work with you and to have this transformation. And so you knowing who you're talking to and how you can help them is going to be your first step in a waitlisted practice. So how do you do that? How do you talk to your audience and how do you build this niche? First, you're going to start to build an audience persona on whatever social platform you choose. My favorite is Instagram, but you can also do this on Facebook. You could do this on LinkedIn. You could do this on TikTok. Wherever you want to play and is your playground, you want to start to build that audience persona. Then you also want to research other authorities in your niche. And you want to analyze what they're doing and what they're posting to build their persona. When I first started working in fertility a little over 5 years ago, I went to every fertility hashtag that I could think of. I looked at all the experts and I reached out to them. And I just said, I love what you're doing. How can we collaborate? How can I learn from you? And I tried to learn as much as I could around the niche of fertility, not only because I was working to help myself, but I wanted to be an expert. And the way you're an expert is you learn from others who've been there and done that. And the third thing is you want to create specialty content around your audience. So when we're talking about fertility, you really want to think about, what do you need to know to optimize your fertility? What are some tips and tricks that you did if you struggled with fertility to make your body as fertile as possible so that you could get pregnant? And so for me, that was a lot surrounded around my hormone puzzle method. I changed my diet. I changed my exercise. I changed my supplements. I lowered my stress. I worked on my sleep. I worked on my mindset. So all of these things were things that I had to learn. And I learned that by going to these niche specific accounts and looking at the experts that were talking about this. So for you, if you're wanting to niche into fertility or hormones or any niche really, think about who's already doing it. Think about who the experts are. Look at what they're doing and try to spin that in a way that fits your personality. You obviously don't want to copy them, but you can look at what they're doing so that it can help you to spark ideas, and then you can put your personality around it. So the action step around this is do a little research. Write down 1 to 3 social media platforms where your audience is, identify the authorities in your niche, and start to make a couple of posts surrounding this niche. So in our notes, in our guidebook, I want you to write down 3 platforms that you're going to focus on. I want you to write 10 influencers or experts in this field. And then I want you to reach out to one of them. Tell them you love their work and you would love to collaborate. The next strategy is having a lead generation ecosystem. So I talked about before how you can do this all organically. I've built my entire practice with very little to no ads. So it's all been organic traffic. And the way that I've done that is, 1, I picked my social sites that I wanted to use. Then I made sure that it was really easy to go to my website through this social platform and grab my free opt-in. So I use a fertility meal plan. I figured out what helped me the most on my struggle with fertility, and that was my diet. So I wanted to create something that would help others. And I find that what to eat is something that a lot of people struggle with. They don't understand what to eat, how to eat, what combinations of food they need to eat for fertility. So I thought that that would be a very easy thing to create, and it would hit a pain point that my ideal client had. And so I created this opt-in, and it was my fertility meal plan. I still use it to this day. And then every time somebody follows me on my social platforms, I will send them a private message thanking them for following me and asking if they got this free gift. You cannot imagine how easy it has been to build my list by just doing this, because my ideal client, they see me as an authority in this space. They want to learn from me, and I have something that will help them. Again, I'm not selling them anything. I'm not being pushy or sleazy. I'm just giving them something that I know that they need and want. And so it makes it really easy for them to give me their email and for them to get my guide, my fertility meal plan. And within that meal plan, I sprinkle in a little about how I can help and how I can work with them. And so for you, I would say create something that people want, have it really easily on your website so they can grab it, and that you can get their email and you can start to form a relationship. And then once I have this list and I have this person that has this pain point and they're in my ecosystem, then I start to reach out to them through automation and through my live admissions team. And I want to get my ideal clients to have a call with me or with my admissions team, because that way I can learn a little bit more about them. I can show them how my services have helped other people and how it can help them too. So having this ecosystem of people finding you on social media, you forming a relationship with them by sending them a private message, they want your free gift, so they go onto your website and get that. Then they're on your list and you start to nurture them and to build a stronger relationship. And then it's an easy yes for working with you, because they need your help and they see you as this authority with this relationship that you guys have built. It's a lot better way to market, because again, you're not being sleazy, you're not being salesy, you're just offering a solution to a problem that this person has, and you're going to be their guide, and you're going to allow them to be the hero in their story. So your action steps around creating your ecosystem is to write down 1 to 3 lead generation opportunities that you want to focus on, whether that is sending the private message through one of your social platforms, whether that's creating a really pretty guidebook, whether that is creating a gift that somebody's going to want. Think about 3 lead generation opportunities and write those down. The last strategy that I want to talk about today is creating a unique experience. And the way that you can provide a unique experience for your community is, one, you want to build an emotional connection. I do that by sending those private messages. I want to get to know these ladies and I want to form a relationship because I care. And I wish somebody had done that for me when I was struggling with my fertility. And I really try to practice social listening. When somebody tells me something, I really want to listen with empathy and actually show them how I can help them and support them. And I really want to personalize their experience. I want to, send them tailored information that I know is going to help them. I ask them for their feedback. I ask them questions. I send them motivation. I really want to let my audience know that I am here for them. I'm a real person and I am an expert, and I want to show them what has worked for me and for my other clients. And I want to show them how this can work for them too. Again, I want to be their guide. I want them to be the hero in their stories, and I want to show them how I can help them through this pain, and they can get pregnant and they can stay pregnant and have a healthy baby. And I do that all through these 3 strategies that I just outlined for you today. So your action step around our last piece of creating a unique experience is to write down all the ways that you plan to implement these strategies that you've learned here today, and then put a date beside when you want to have them completed. Again, the best way to see results is to implement what you've learned. And I'm so excited to share these strategies for you. I hope that you will use them. I hope you found this show helpful. And if you want to learn more about how you can become a certified fertility coach so that you can build the practice of your dreams and help so many women reach their dreams and guide them on their path to parenthood. And one of my dreams is to help create 100,000 babies this year. And I want you to be an intricate part of that. So if you've ever thought about becoming a fertility coach, or if you already have a wellness practice and you want to add fertility coaching to this so that you can help more people, so that you can practice over state lines, so that you can add a piece of the puzzle that your clients want and need, then let's talk. Let's jump on a call and I'll show you how my fertility coach certification course can help you do all of these things and more. There is literally nothing else like this out there. This course was designed by me through my own personal struggles with fertility, and then how I turn that into a thriving fertility coaching practice. If you want to book a call with me, you can do so on my website. There's a button. If you go on my first page and scroll down, there's a button that says book a discovery call. Click that and let's jump on a phone call and talk further about how this could be what you're looking for and how you can build the practice of your dreams with a wait list. Thank you for listening to the Hormone Puzzle Podcast. Until next time, bye ladies. Thanks for tuning in today to the Hormone Puzzle Podcast. Check out the show notes for today's episode at CoachKela.com. If you like what you hear, please subscribe and leave a review. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you next week.